Hey friends, I it's been quite a day. I I was the kind of the MC for an event earlier today, and it went great. The event was really successful. Um, I got some really nice feedback about it afterwards. I think I was by no means the only or even the primary sort of organizer, puller together of this thing, but I was in some ways the point person or the host. And what I noticed, or what I'm so kind of, it's been a whole day with lots of conversations and lots of continued ripples of energy around this event. But I find myself having this experience of being almost, and it's funny because I had a vision of this, or a premonition of this. It's like I found, or I find, I thought somebody was coming, that's why I took that quick sneak peek over that way. I find it's like I discover a skill set within myself, or I discover an intuitive grasp of how to have a conversation. Basically, my job was to manage a conversation, to elicit, instigate, and then sort of draw out. I was hosting a panel, so I was basically just responsible for helping the incredibly articulate and intelligent people on the panel have a chance to say what they needed to say. And there is an art to that, as anybody who's done it knows. There is an art to facilitating dialogue. And I would not here's the thing. I would kind of have known that was in my wheelhouse, that sort of facilitating dialogue was something that was in my wheelhouse. But I don't do it I almost never do it. So watching myself do it, I'm like, how do I know how to do this? How do I, it's almost like I become possessed by a particular part of myself that knows how to do this. And that's an experience that I've had in a couple of different ways, but I would say this way is one of the more powerful ways. This facilitating dialogue. I'm trying to come up with other language to say the same thing, but basically being in conversation. Today, at least in this case, leading the conversation, but at the same time, leading in such a way that it doesn't seem like I'm leading, and more importantly, leading in such a way that what's being drawn out, that where we are going together is really, the direction of travel is discovered through listening. So I can, even as I'm responsible for leading, the primary, or at least the first task to be done is listening. And probably a close second or a tied for first, next priority would be curiosity. To be curious, to keep digging, to keep wanting to keep asking the next question, just to basically be interested in interesting things. It's not, it's a pretty straightforward job when it comes down to it. Be interested in interesting things. That's my skill set. Being interested in interesting things. And yet, I sort of make light of it, but I actually think there's actually something there that's of value, and that comes through me very naturally. I don't have to work hard at it. It's something that flows through me. Once I'll still get, this is kind of the sign, I'll get nervous before an event like this. I'll have the energy that, like, okay, about to be on stage, about to go do this thing, energy. But it's quite easy, usually, to settle into a mode of just remembering, my job is to listen and be curious and take us not necessarily where I want to go, although my intention plays a role there. But I mean, this is really, I'm oversimplifying, because it really is, my intention is actually very important as the leader. I'm not saying me personally, but as the leader of a conversation, the leader's intention is quite significant and important. It's just that the leader's intention should represent the intentions and the interests of everyone being led, right? I mean, this is like the original argument for democracy. The authority of government should issue from the consent of the governed. We should all want to go where the leader is equipped and committed to taking us. But in a kind of moment to moment, right here, right now, in this actual moment, that manifests as a kind of constant aliveness in the conversation. It manifests as a wakefulness that it's an opportunity and it's a responsibility. The responsibility is to be awake and be listening, be curious, and be present. And so that there's a responsibility aspect to it, but there's also this massive gift in that wakefulness that I get to be enlivened by every moment of a conversation, and I get to participate with my full self in a way. It's really, there's a lot of joy there, and I think I'm doing a post about it because I'm trying to, in some ways, I feel like I'm discovering something about myself. I'm discovering maybe a kind of a doorway that I might walk through. So it feels important to name it and see it. So yeah. That's where I am today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I'll tell you, there's going to be definitely some more downloads from this experience. I'll keep you posted. But thanks for tuning in.